It's wonderful when you think about how Christ can hear the call of somebody that's in trouble, somebody that needs help. One time the people were coming, going from all around the country in the different cities. Getting there, and he had a wonderful crowd all around. All of a sudden, he began to pull away from them. They watched him. And he got up into one of the little ships there. And he says, let's go over on the other side. Strange thing to see him leave all that multitude and a great crowd of people, just go get in the boat and say, let's go. He had a reason for it. He'd heard something. He can hear a lot farther than you can or that I can. Thank God he can hear a man 1,000 miles away if he's crying out of an honest heart. He'll hear it. There was a man on the other side of the sea over there. And he was crying at that. He lived up in the cemetery among the tombs. He wore no clothing. They'd try to bind him, and things would go all right for a little while, then all of a sudden he'd just break those bands, and he was gone again. Haven't you seen men like that? I've seen a lot of them. And you're never on safe ground when you're trying to do things in your own strength. You're never on safe ground until you let God do it. Let God do it. You quit breaking the bands and going. Bless God, you start out doing what God tells you to do. You get out a little ways into that old sea, it says there's a storm come up. You know, sometimes you can be doing just what the Lord tells you to do and get into some pretty rough weather. Have you ever noticed that? I'm sure you have. You can get in some pretty rugged old weather doing what the Lord tells you to do. It said that old storm began to rage. Jesus fell asleep in the back of that boat. And the boat was just filling up with water all the time. They let it go till the old boat was just about down. And they went and called him. Asked him if he didn't care if they perished. You say, isn't it strange they let it go so long before they called? Well, isn't it strange that a lot of people will do that? Isn't it strange a lot of people will just stay away from God till the old boat's just about going down before they'll say anything to him or call on him at all, and then they're ready to go and call. Why don't we call beforehand? Why don't we ask him tonight to do something for us that he never did before in all our lives? Believe he'll do it. He just raised up in that old boat, stretched his blessed hand out across the water, says, peace, be still. And it says there was a great calm. A great calm settled down. You remember when that settled down over your life? I do. I remember well when that calm settled down over me. Oh, I was troubled. My whole heart was heavy. I was discouraged. I didn't care whether I ever saw the sun come up again or not. But all that peace, that calm that settled down, a great calm, he said. And I had rest. Thank God I've had it ever since. Amen. Down in my soul. Amen. Gone through some pretty rough places. Sometimes it was just pretty hard to know whether the old boat was going to stay up or not. But bless God, she's still floating. Don't you thank God for it? I can't help but think that the mission that Christ was on was going over there to get that man. He'd heard that cry. Nobody else in the crowd heard it. Perhaps they wondered why he was going and all that, but thank God he could hear it. I don't know how far they were from shore when he told that old sea to be still, but I know if that man was standing over on that old shore watching that boat tossing in the waters out there, and all of a sudden he saw somebody raise up in the back of that boat and stretch his hand over the waters and say something, and the waves quit rolling. I'm sure he'd have a lot of faith in that man when he got over there. He'd have a lot of faith in him. And when Jesus landed that day and struck the shore, this man came running to him. Poor maniac. Come up there in the tomb. And he began to ask him for help. Wanted help. Did he get it? Did anybody ever ask him in any place you ever read in that Bible, did anybody ever ask him for help and not get it? No. Did he ever say, I'll not do it? No. Woman that came to him that time for help for her daughter, I suppose she thought for a little while she wasn't going to get the help. He may test you a little, may try you a little to see if you really do mean it. Bless God, you hold on a while, he'll do it. You just hold on a little while, he'll do it. Oh, if you'd ask for hands tonight that know that's true, you'd be surprised to see the cloud of hands go up in this place that knows that's true. If you just hold on a little while, he'll do it. The crowd came that day and found that poor fellow said he was clothed. One place he said he wore no clothing. Now he's sitting at the feet of Jesus, he's clothed. He's not a maniac anymore, he's in his right mind. Sitting there at the feet of Jesus. There may be somebody here tonight say, my case is a little too hard. Is it harder than that? Is it harder than that? Is it harder than when Peter lay in that old prison down there that time, chained to the guards? Couldn't move without waking one of them? In the midnight hours, it says, that old key turned that night and that old door swung open, but there wasn't a sound of the jailer around there. It was an angel. An angel. That angel walked in there and laid his hand on his side, touched him on the side. Get up, he says, Peter, and put your sandals on, put your robe around you, and come on, we're going out of here. We're going out of this place. Are you tied any tighter than that tonight? I doubt it very much. Jesus Christ will get you out of there and deliver you if he has to send an angel from heaven to do it. He'll break the fetters, break the bands, and set you at liberty. Must have been a wonderful thing for Peter. Got up there and started to follow that wonderful person out of there. Got out there at the old big iron gate. The man in there, the one didn't have to touch it that was leading him. That the old gate started moving, getting out of the way. What did it? God did it. The same God we're serving. Same one. I'm God and I change not, he said. God and I change not. He's never changed. Not one bit. None of us will ever see the day when he changes. Don't you thank God for it tonight? I do, with all my heart. He didn't leave Peter right there. He took him a block or two away. Peter couldn't believe it. He said he came to himself out there in that old street, and he was really out of the prison. Really out of that prison. There was a place in that old town that said that they were praying without ceasing. Praying without ceasing. Now that's the secret. I believe they prayed in relays. I don't think the place was without prayer any time, day or night. Without ceasing, they were in that place holding on to God for Peter, and Peter made a beeline right for that very home. He knew who was praying. Miss that knocked on that old door, said, and this damsel named Rhoda came rushing out there, and she saw it was Peter. She hurried back, and she says, Peter's out there at the door. Oh, they said, that's not Peter, that's his spirit. I suppose they'd been praying and holding on, waiting on God. When the time come that God delivered, the devil was there to say, well, it's too late. You hear that a lot of times. Peter just kept on rapping at that old door until they found out it was Peter. Motioned to him to be quiet about it, and then he started out for another group somewhere else that he knew was praying. You want to tell them he was out. Oh, people, this is a wonderful salvation. When Christ started back that day, they wanted him to leave that land over there. He started back the other side. There was a reason for that, too. There was a bunch of people back over there where he left. They were right out there on that old shore waiting for him, longing for him to come. Said when he got back there, it said they received him gladly, for they were all waiting for him. That's the kind of a people that get things from God. That's the kind of people that get help. People that are waiting for him and longing for him and ready to receive him gladly. That's the kind of people that go away with something. If you're here tonight, ask yourself the question, if you're bound any more than these men were that we're talking about tonight. You know you're not. You might never even get to that altar if you'd start till God would save you. You might never get down here to pray. He might save you walking down the aisle. You say, does he do that? He certainly does. I've seen him more than once he's done that. He'll be right there to give you what your heart is asking for. You remember that man that came to him that time with his son, having those terrible fits. He'd get near the water, the enemy would throw him into the water. He'd get near a fire, the enemy would throw him into the fire. When Jesus undertook the case, it's a different story. Said to that father, he says, how long has he been this way? Why, he says, from a child. Oh, he says, if you can do anything, help us. You ever notice how the Lord answered him? He says, if you can believe. Doesn't matter if I can do anything, he can do anything. Doesn't matter if I can do it, he can do anything. But can you believe it? Pitiful the way that man answered him. Yes, Lord, he says, I believe. And he says, you help my unbelief. He just broke down. He says, I want you to help my unbelief. Aren't we all saying that tonight? Can't you say that? With a clear conscience from the bottom of your heart, God, help my unbelief. You say, have we got unbelief? Well, I think sometimes we'd get a lot more from God if we didn't have. I think when we're prayed for sometimes, when we're sick, we need help. If we just had that faith that was once delivered to the saints that the Lord told us to earnestly contend for, I believe if we had that wage down in our hearts, I can't help but think that we'd get more from God, don't you? I believe, Lord, and now you help my unbelief so I can believe it more. That's the thing tonight. Get down to the old altar and say, but God, I believe. I believe tonight and mean it. God, help my unbelief. Help me to believe it a little more. We're going to have a good altar service, I believe. I believe we are tonight. I wonder how many would like to get their name on the list to be prayed for. Hands that you're seeking something from God. You'd rather have it tonight than anything in the world. Say by lifted hand, pray for me, folks. Thank God for all these hands. I'm sure the ones that see that are going to say, God, remember the hands that raised. I believe everybody that sees those hands will say when they get on their knees tonight, God, remember the hands that raised. And surely you're going to feel the effects of it. The old altar's going to be open here. We've been having a grand time. But wouldn't you like to hear a lot of people tomorrow night testify, God baptized me last night around the old altar? No reason in the world why he can't. He can do it tonight just as easy as he can tomorrow night. He can do it tonight just as easy as he can do it any time. It isn't God's fault we don't get it, is it? Let's ask him tonight to help our unbelief as we kneel at the old altar. Let's come out and pray.